Okay, I'll give it just a few minutes, well, seconds actually, for people to join me. Welcome on Facebook, welcome on Instagram to both the live and the replay viewers. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. 7:16. I'm so sorry for the loss of your brother. So young, only 21 years old. What happened? Oh, it was an accidental shooting. Greetings. I'm Dr. Michelle Clay. I'm a best-selling author. I'm Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. I'm a certified holistic health counselor and clinical nutritionist, and the survivor of Theodore Vernon Clay II, my younger brother who committed suicide at the age of 21 on April 21st, 1999. That chapter is one of the most challenging in my book of life. But as a result of that part of my story, what it did was it helped me to create books, blogs, and coaching programs for people just like me. Those who are overwhelmed by the super long to-do list of life, those who have disappointment and carry pain secretly, and for those just like me who feel distressed and sometimes disgraced by things that have happened in life, situations that have happened in life. Those people who are just like me, I help you release your stress simply and naturally to help you create happiness, health, and harmony in life so that you can truly live a free life on purpose and with passion. So, distress, disgrace, shame, sin, suicide, sadness. Those are some of the words that were either that I felt or that were spoken to me after my brother committed suicide. And so what happened was that I completely shut down and I dissociated. So as opposed to being able to own the truth of the situation and my feelings and say, oh, my younger brother committed suicide, I and my mother both said and honestly believe that in our minds. That's what happens when you dissociate, that it was an accidental shooting. Because we believed that he didn't really mean to shoot himself. He didn't really take his money, go to Walmart, purchase a gun, write a note, call people, and then actually pulled the trigger. We didn't believe that. It was a way of surviving the distress, the anguish, and the pain that we felt and we experienced. And so I know that I'm not alone. So what I'm going to talk to you about today for Wednesday's Wellness Wisdom Pearl with Dr. Michelle Clay is suicide. Death to distress and disgrace. And the reason why that is so important to me is because even in my deepest, darkest hours of grief, there were people who say, oh, well, you know, he didn't meet God because he took his own life. Disgrace, sin, which caused even more sadness in me and in my life, where sometimes I felt ashamed. I felt ashamed of what my family was going through, and it caused even more distress. And since I am the holistic physician who specializes in the release of stress simply and naturally, I want you to know that there is a stress depression link and there is a stress and anxiety link. So may is Mental Health Awareness Month, where we shed more light on mental health, ways that you can get help to help try to dispel the stigma around getting help and owning your feelings and what you are experiencing. But more specifically on suicide, death to distress and disgrace that I want to specifically talk about is help. 4 ways to heal after suicide. So number 1, this is something that actually before the death of Kate Spade, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the family trust. I know what they are experiencing because I experienced the same thing. That even before that, I was having these feelings of sadness and regret, not just about my brother because he's the one that made that decision, but sadness and regret of what I did or what I didn't do after my brother pulled the trigger. So 4 ways to help heal after suicide. Death to distress and disgrace. Number 1 is find a support group. For those of you who are survivors, then you are not alone. Do not allow anyone to shame you or disgrace your family or the name and the legacy of your loved one, because that is just one thing that happened in their life. The time between they were born and the date of their death, on the obituary, my cousin taught me this, there's a dash. And the life that you live in that dash is really what is important. The life that you live in the dash, or that your loved one lived in that dash, is their legacy, is what they contributed to your life and poured into you. And that is what we honor. And so a support group, be with others who have experienced the same thing you have. And there are so many more people who are survivors of a loved one who committed suicide. Do you know that there are double the amount of suicides in the United States than there are homicides? We talk about homicide and violence all the time, but we don't talk about suicide a lot. And though my heart goes out to Kate Spade's family and to her soul and spirit of the pain and anguish that obviously she experienced to lead her to that point, I'm glad that it gives us an opportunity to really talk about it. So 1, a support group. Number 2, counseling. I did not receive counseling after my brother's suicide. And I wish that I had, because I know that it contributed to decisions that I made moving forward at very critical points in my life. So counseling. There are psychologists, there are psychiatrists, there are licensed professional counselors, there are therapists, there are social workers. There's a hotline. Counseling. Get the help that you need. Number 3 on greetings. Number 3, 4 ways to heal after suicide is if you're not the person, but someone you know is a survivor, then check in with them. Ask them, what do you need? How can I assist you? And then number 4, I want you to use your gut. I want you to use your intuition, because sometimes people are in so much pain that they cannot articulate what they really need. But I want you to use your gut and let it guide you. When you ask someone what they need and how you can help them, then be that, do that, be there. If they themselves are experiencing deep depression like I once felt and once had suicidal ideation, but I didn't have an attempt, and obviously I didn't have a follow-through, because I'm here sharing with you this evening for Wednesday's Wellness Wisdom Pearl. Then give them the hotline, take them to someone Don't ignore it. So in my case, and you can read more about my story with that in Conquering the Chaos, the Super Wonder Woman's 12-step strategy for a stress-free life. I talk about that experience with my brother and how it caused so much distress that actually it resulted in physical symptoms, which often occurs when people are experiencing chronic stress. So if it then leads you to feeling so much distress that it leads you to a deep depression where you have suicidal ideation, then use that 4-letter word. Don't suffer in silence, because you are not alone. Pick up the phone for the hotline. Text someone. Text someone that you know you can trust. Text someone that you know has your back. And if you don't have a friend that can hold your hand and drive you or take you to skilled professionals, experienced professionals that can provide you with what you need, then pick up the hotline. And the number is 1-800-273-TALK. And talk it out and talk it through. So, distress, disgrace, shame, sin, sadness, suicide. Death to distress and disgrace. Death to distress and disgrace. Death to distress and disgrace. You are not alone. You don't have to walk alone. Whether you have had ideas of suicide or whether you're a survivor like me. I actually fit into both categories. Like I said, I once had suicidal ideation, and I'm a survivor of someone very close to me, my younger brother, who committed suicide at the age of 21. And it still feels fresh like it was last month. So if that is you and you're experiencing this and don't know where to turn, I am not a therapist. I am not a counselor. I do wellness coaching. I'm a holistic physician. I'm a stress release strategist. But if you know that you have been down that road of chronic stress that sometimes affects your mental health, and maybe that chronic stress triggers memories of sadness or suicide in someone you love, then let's talk about it. Let's create a strategy. If I can't help you, I definitely can direct you to the skilled professionals who can, that will do it with trust, without judgment, with a true caring and compassionate heart, and in the spirit of love, divine love. And so schedule some time with me at www.freelifestrategy.com. Again, that is www.freelifestrategy.com. We don't want you to be a statistic, and we don't want you to have long-term effects, years and years of distress and disgrace as a result of being a survivor, trying to carry on the legacy of someone close to you who has committed suicide, as Kate Spade's family is now having to deal with. So once again, this is Wednesday Wellness Wisdom with Dr. Michelle Clay. I, of course, am your host, Dr. Michelle Clay. I am a speaker. I am a best-selling author twice. I am Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. I am a certified holistic health counselor and clinical nutritionist, and I am the survivor of Theodore Vernon Clay II, who took his life, committed suicide on April 21st, 1999. And as a result of being a survivor and part of his legacy, my pain has helped mold, shape, and express my purpose by helping overwhelmed overachievers, burnt out businesswomen, and other people who are in distress and disappointed in life and suffer secretly through my coaching programs, books, blogs, and live streams just like this one. I help people reclaim and find their healthy, happy place of harmony so that they can live their free life on purpose and with passion. Thank you for joining me. Once again, if you just need a little help, don't know where to turn, I am happy to help you create a blueprint from burnout to some balance, from heartache to some happiness. So make sure that you schedule your complimentary session, 15 minutes with me, at www.freelifestrategy.com. So until next time, I want you to be well. I want you to do something well for yourself. Take the time to pour into yourself and express some self-love. Rest, relax, and have a beautiful evening. Thank you. Goodbye.